Okay, hello dear friends, good evening, such a beautiful, beautiful evening. So let's continue to read this beautiful book, The Adventures of Odysseus. Okay, the cyclops. Whenever I see cyclops, I think about the Monster Inc. Bio Crystal plate. I do not even know the name. Anyway, let's start to read. For many days we sailed until we reached an island that seemed to us a paradise. We saw land, level for the plow, and fat sheep and goats gazing. We decided to stop and take on fresh meat and water. Yeah, they were sailing in the ocean. Of course, they need to get their supply. We beached the ship. I told 12 of my men to take from the treasures of Troy some precious things, some bracelet or brooch, in the hope that we would find people with whom we could barter. So Odysseus told 12 of his men, take out some of the good things from Troy, because they fought in Troy and they win, so they got a lot of good things, so that we can take these good things as a gift, as an exchange, to trade with the people we meet, so that we can get some supply of fresh water, fresh meat, and other things. I think you know the story, do not need at all I make any explanation. So just remember, I am not explaining for you, I am explaining it for myself so that I understand. My English is not good, okay? Please excuse me. If you feel that my explanation is redundant, sorry, bye bye, see you later. Go to another one. Anyway, if you can endure my explanation, keep on staying. Okay. And so can make a better trade. I took a gold skin of strong wine, one cupful poured into a barrel of water would still make a potent potion. So I think the gold skin is kind of a measurement or a bag of wine, and use gold skin as a container. They sew it into a certain shape of container. So he got one bag or one gold skin of very strong wine. I think it might be like absinthe, it's like vodka or something very strong. Of course, it was not called out this name, and only a little cupful can make the whole bag of water, whole bucket of water become very strong potion. So anyway, so it means how strong it is. We followed a path from the beach to a hill. In the hill there was a cave. Beside the cave there was a boulder that looked as though it had been placed there for some purpose. So a big, huge rock there. It does not look belong there. It looks someone has put it there or someplace. It's like the Stonehenge was not originally there, but they were placed for some peculiar purpose. And perhaps this cave was a home. Maybe someone lived there. Sure enough, when we went inside, we found enclosures with fences that held lamb and kids. Oh, there were kids and lamb. We found buckets of cheese and milk. Cheese and milk. And Heinz yogurt, of course, yes. Those home was, whose home was this? We squatted by a fire. We squatted by a fire, munched some cheese, drank some milk, sat back and waited. Eventually, we heard pleading. A great flock of animals was approaching. Something, perhaps a premonition made me instruct my men to hide in the darkest part of the cave. A huge herd of sheep and goats entered and gathered near their young. It just felt very strange. So they went in and they ate something. They ate some cheese, drank some milk, and they were beside some fire and keep warm. And just by intuition, by a kind of sense, they heard some noise coming in, and Odysseus just feel that's something suspicious. Maybe something is going to happen. Just at this time, animals came in, lambs came in, and sheep came in, and the lamb and sheep stayed beside their youngs. So Odysseus was thinking, oh, this something might happen. So they hid it in the darkest place in the cave. Then behind them, we saw a silhouette in the cave mouth. A silhouette in the cave mouth. It was the shape of a human, of a man, but this was bigger than any man we had ever seen. It's a giant man. It's an enormous, humongous size of man. He was the size of a tall tree. He lumbered in, grabbed the shoulder, grabbed the border, and rolled it into the entrance. So he must be very strong. He took that boulder. It may be like us roll something. He rolled the boulder and stopped the entrance, I think. Now the only light came from the fire. Oh, they do not see any sunshine, any light from outside. They can only see the light from the fire inside. By the light of the flame, we watched the giant milk and female sheep and goats with surprising tenderness and obvious affection. We studied his tusk-like teeth. Oh, so this giant, by the light of the flames we watched the giant milk the female sheep and goats with surprising tenderness and obvious affection. We studied his tusk-like teeth and his snoot of a nose. In the middle of his forehead, there was one enormous eye, one-eyed giant. And he was milking the sheep, milking the goat, the female sheep and goat, she sheep and she goat. And he was walking with enormous careness and affection. By the light of the fire, he must have seen our shadow on the wall behind us. He said, "What's this? I have guessed. Little two-eyed things." We stopped. We stepped forward. "We are men. We have here precious treasures. We want to swap them with you. We want to swap them with you for meat and fresh water. Father God Zeus rewards those who are kind to travelers." So we stepped forward and tell him, "We have precious things. We want to exchange something with you. Would you like to do it? Because Father God Zeus will reward good people. If you be good, you will be rewarded." "Do I care?" that guy said. No, he haven't said it. Sorry, I must be too focused on reading the words. You didn't see the picture. So here is the big boulder, the big huge rock blocked the entrance, and Odysseus with 12 of his men preparing good things and entered into it. And they hide themselves in the darkest place, and they saw the giant came, and one-eyed giant. Okay, now let's turn on this page. Zeus, do you know what I am? I am a cyclops. We cyclops are the sons of the sea god Poseidon. Poseidon, 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 Poseidon. We have no fear of your blustering Zeus. Of course, Poseidon and Zeus, they do have some problem. Yeah, between, as you can imagine, between the siblings, there is always fighting. And Poseidon is the big brother of Zeus. Zeus got the power and gave Poseidon the power of ocean, of sea. And he took the power of Almighty, and he gave the power of the underworld to Hades. So anyway, Zeus, he himself, the youngest, got all the power. Of course, his other siblings will have some problem, for sure. Then the Cyclops grabbed one of my men and smacked his head against the roof of the cave. Oh, this is so... His brain splattered against the wall and the floor. The Cyclops cramped the crops into his mouth. Ew. This is not a children's book. But anyway, just imagine. This has happened too long time ago, so we can just don't think about too much, okay? We were horrified. Before he could devour another of my men, I held up the gold skin of strong wine. We little two eyes have made something you one eyes have not. It is drink that makes you happy. If I give it to you, would you give me a gift in return? So Odysseus said. Odysseus was scared, but not scared. He still have his brain functioning. He said, oh, stop, stop, stop. I have some good things. I have a gift for you. I have made the most delicious drink in this world. If you drink, it will make you happy. Promise one thing. I will give you this gift. Give me your gift, and I will give you an answer. You think I'm who? You ask me something, and then I answer you, and I say yes to you. You do not know you are who. Give me your gift, and let me see if I care to answer or not. I threw the goat skin to his feet. He picked it up, took the stopper from it, and emptied it in one long gulp. Gulu. He threw it to the ground. What is your name? He asked. My name? My name is nobody. Well then, nobody. I thank you for your gift. It tasted good. In return, I will give something precious, a little more life. My gift to you is just a little more life. I promise you, you will be the last one that I eat. So I will let you to stay a little bit longer, and I will eat the rest one by one. And you are number 13. Odysseus plus his 12 men. So total 13. Already finished one, and there are 12 more, and Odysseus will be the 13th. Well, I'm a math teacher. What can I do? Yeah, I have to do the number job. Let's continue. He grabbed another one of my men and beat off his head. Oh, I cannot do that. As the cyclops chewed his cheeks reddened. His great eyelid met. He put out his hand to steady himself. The wine was taking effect. Soon he lay on the ground, his cheek against the sand, his eye shut, his mouth open, dripping blood and wine. He fell asleep. One of my crew drew his sword and stepped forward, intending to plunge the blade through the cyclops' skin and kill him as he slept. I had to restrain him. We have bigger things, although we have to die, but we do not want to completely, totally die. The cyclops was our only means to escape. All of us together weren't strong enough to push the rock from the cave mouth. We were trapped until this brute freed us. We want to go away, but the only way we can escape. Let me get another book under it so it's easier. The only way we can get out of here is that this monster freed us. All that night, we searched the cave. We found the trunk of an olive tree that the cyclops was drying to use as a shepherd's crook. So I checked the internet. A shepherd's crook is like a hook kind of things a shepherd use, a shepherd's tool or shepherd's stick. We drew our swords and whittled at it until it came to the sharp point. we put the point into the fire until it glowed red hot. We lifted the tree trunk onto our shoulder. Yeah, the tree trunk onto our shoulder. The tree trunk onto our shoulder. And urging each other on, we ran forward and plunged the point into his eye, twisting it from side to side as we did so. Steam rose up around the wood. The cyclops gave an awful yell. Ow! Oh my God. Even think about it. Ah! He reared up and pulled the wood from his head with a sucking sound. The scream summoned other cyclops from nearby caves. We could hear them shouting through the border. Polyphemus, Polyphemus, what's the matter? Polyphemus, yeah, that must be the cyclops name. The cyclops name is Polyphemus. What's the matter? I have been blinded. Who has blinded you? Nobody. Nobody has blinded me. Oh my goodness. Odysseus was so smart. He called himself nobody. Nobody has blinded me. If nobody has blinded you, there is nothing we can do to help. It must be a punishment from the immortals. Pray to them, and your sight will be restored to you. And they went back to their cave and their slumbers. Oh, wow, Odysseus. All that night we played a terrible game of blind man's buff with Polyphemus. He felt his way around the wall of the cave, uttering threats and insults, the blood dripping from his chin. We ducked under his swooping hand. Eventually, when the animals bleating alerted the cyclops, to the coming of the day, he felt his way along the wall of the cave until he touched the border that blocked the cave mouth. He pushed it out. Oh, wow, this is so smart. So they can escape. So this is the one-eyed cyclops. He turned and squatted in the entrance, his back protruding out of the cave and his leg apart. He felt across the floor until he found the fence. He opened them, and the flock made its way out to graze. Of course, they had to pass through his leg and under him. As he did so, he ran his fingers over their backs. Polyphemus, not Polyphemus. Why do I say Polyphemus? Polyphemus was hoping we would try to escape by hiding among them. He was hoping he would recognize us by our human shape, and then he would pull us limb from limb. But I had guessed he would do so. But I had guessed he would do so. Ah, yeah. So the monster, so the cyclops could not see, but he can feel. He used his hand to touch the lamp. The lamp. During the night, my companions and I had tied the ship together in row of three, one beside the other. Then each of my men had slid under the belly of a middle ship, and I had tied him beneath, the animal. When the cyclops ran his hands over the ship, all he felt was the wool of their backs. In this way, my men escaped. Only I remained. I had held back a great curly horned ram. Now I slid under his belly, reached up and grabbed the wool on its back, on its neck. I shook it. The ram trotted towards Polyphemus. He touched his horns. Oh, so everyone was behind three. Only Odysseus was under one. Reach to the horn. His fingers closed around the ram's head. The ram stopped. The cyclops said, "I know you. You are the chief of the herd. Every morning you are the first to leave the cave, and yet today, when all the others have gone, you linger. Why?" Under the ram, I was sure that my heart was beating so loudly that the cyclops would hear it. Then I heard him say, "I know why. Somehow you know that I am suffering, don't you? You want to stay with me and console me with your company, but there is nothing you can do. I'm blind now. You must go and graze with your companions." Oh, wow, the cyclops is so kind in a sense. Anyway, eating human is his nature. It's just he's not even trying to eat human. Anyway, it's his nature. He released the beast. It trotted out into the daylight. I was free. I united my men, and we herded the sheep down to the ship. We made the water white with the blades of our oar. We made the water white with the blades of our oar. Oh yeah, they were roaring so much, so the water is all splashing like white. We looked back at this island that so recently had seemed to us a paradise. It used to look like a paradise, and now, I could see the hill and the cave. I could see the cyclops in the cave entrance. He was still waiting for us to make our move, and I couldn't stop myself. I had to gloat. to gloat. Contemplate or dwell on one's success. I had to gloat. Maybe I will use a translator. I had to gloat. I had to gloat. What does gloat mean? Oh, I had to gloat. So he was 幸灾乐祸. He was feeling lucky from him. Polyphemus. It was not nobody who blinded you. It was somebody. It was Odysseus, a ram among sheep, king of rocky Ithaca. Remember my name for the rest of your life, of stumbling darkness. Father Poseidon, did you hear his name? It was Odysseus who blinded your son, blight his voyage with trial and calamity, so that if at last he reaches his homeland, let it be alone and unknown and under a strange sail. And let him find danger waiting where there should be a welcome. Find danger waiting where there should be a welcome. I laughed at Cyclops ranting, but my gloating would cost us dearly. So Odysseus was very proud of himself. Yeah, it was not nobody who blinded you. It was somebody. It is me. It is Odysseus. And yeah, for the rest of your life, you will live in darkness. And you know who the Polyphemus is, right? Polyphemus was the son of Poseidon, and Odysseus have to travel across the ocean to go back home. So he was planting a seed of trouble in the troubled water.